Alright, so today I'm in the beautiful mountains of Pennsylvania, and I'm going to be looking for snakes in this campground here. Now the reason this is such a great place to look is because it's in the middle of a huge state forest. So there's lots of wilderness around. And on top of that, there are tons of chipmunks here. So all of that goes together to make this really good snake habitat. Let's see what I can find. Now I found that the best way to find snakes here is to just walk in this open area. There's lots of long grass, and I've seen everything from timber rattlesnakes and black rat snakes to eastern garter snakes and northern water snakes using this exact method. Now today is pretty hot. It's in the 70s, upper 70s, and it's very humid, but there are passing clouds today, so I think that sort of makes up for it, and I definitely think the snakes will be moving. My main target for today is the black rat snake, which is probably my favorite non-venomous species to find, and they're fairly common in this area. They like this campground because of the abundance of chipmunks, which are here for the food they get from campers. From my experience, the best way to find black rat snakes is to walk through areas like this with lots of plants, and to cover as much ground as possible. However, on this particular day, I didn't have any luck until I left the campground and started walking along a nearby creek. Alright, so I'm by this creek right now, pretty close to the campground, and right here, we have a black rat snake. And it looks like a pretty good sized one. Main target of the day. I'm gonna get you guys a closer look. All right, so this guy went further up into the tree. Here's a look at his face. That is so cool. Now this one definitely looks like a good 5-footer. So definitely a good sized snake, but these guys can get up to 8 feet. So they can get significantly longer than this. All right, so what I'm gonna do, and we'll see how he reacts, I'm just gonna put my hand on his back. And depending on the snake, sometimes they react a little differently. So let's see what happens. Here goes my hand, right there. And he bit it. Sometimes I'll do that. Fortunately, they have very tiny teeth. All right, so I fully got him out of the tree now. Just a beautiful snake, although he is a little defensive, which is understandable. Look at that. Main thing I wanted to find today. Now here's another look at this guy in my hand. As you can see, definitely not a small snake. Also, very calm. Because I'm being gentle with him, he's realized that I'm not a threat. Alright, so here's another look at this black rat snake. He has calmed down a bit. These guys, as long as you're gentle with them, they really aren't that defensive. Sometimes when you first touch them, they'll get you. But yeah, really friendly snakes in general. Very docile. And just absolutely beautiful black coloration. They're also very interested in cameras for some reason. Look at that. But yeah, this is the longest snake that can be found here in Pennsylvania. As I said before, these guys can reach up to 8 feet in length. But this guy is just a good 5-footer by my estimation. So for prey, these guys mainly eat rodents and birds, and they'll also eat bird eggs. So that's why they're very good tree climbers, because they can just climb up to a bird nest and eat the eggs. Now this is easily my favorite non-venomous species in the world. I absolutely love to find these guys, and I don't find them nearly as often as I would like to. But either way, I don't want to mess with this guy too much. I want to leave him to his business, and I'll let him go pretty quickly. All right, so here goes this black rat snake, right back in his tree next to the creek. There he goes. He knows where he's at. It's always sad to see a beautiful animal like that disappear into the vegetation, but luckily I wouldn't have to wait long for another one. Alright, so it's the next day. I'm back in the campground now, and I just got another black rat snake. So there's this bridge here over the creek, and right here under the bridge, there's a black rat snake crawling on the wall. How cool is that? Let's get a closer look. Alright, so let's see how this guy reacts to me touching him. Definitely a bit of a reaction there, trying to get away. Alright, here's another look at this second black rat. I brought him up from under the bridge. Look at that. Still a good sized snake, although a little bit small for black rat snakes. And as always, just a very friendly snake. I absolutely love these guys. Alright, here's another look at this black rat snake in a bit more of a controlled setting. Now, earlier I estimated that this guy would be about 3 feet long, but after seeing him a bit closer, I think he's actually more like 4 feet. So still definitely a sizable snake, but again, not nearly as big as these guys can get. Alright, so this guy was very cooperative, as usual with this species, so I'm just gonna let him go right back where I found him, under the bridge. Alright, so here he goes, right back under the bridge where I found him. That is awesome. What a cool place to find a snake. Alright, so as you can see from these past few days, black rat snakes can be found just about anywhere. So I guess the best advice I could give for finding them is just to find an area that you think might have them and look everywhere you can. That really increases your chances as much as possible. But either way, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I really hope you learned something today, and thanks for watching, as always.